fun fact, went to see this movie at completely the wrong time, and ended up watching about an hour in. Never done that before, but then I rectified it and went at the right time the next day. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above. Yes, I went to see Bikeriders. I was really excited for this film because it was being compared to like all your mafia type, gang type movies, and I did a movie marathon the other weekend of Godfather 1, 2, Goodfellas, Casino, Scarface, all those kind of like mafia gang type films. So I was like, right, okay, I'm definitely in the mood for this one. So this one has quite a sort of all-star cast. I tell you who it's got in it that I've not seen an awful lot of her acting in it, but I have seen lots of interviews with her. It's Jodie Comer, and she was fabulous in it. I really liked her acting, and I've heard that she's amazing at accents, and I was kind of like listening closely, almost trying to like catch her out on the accent, because you know those things where it's a British person doing an American accent, and the R's are sometimes just a little bit weird, and it's like when you hear Renée Zellweger trying to do Bridget Jones's accent. It's along those lines, but her accent was just flawless, and I thought she was fabulous. So this one is one of those kind of like, it's a slow burn type of film. So whilst there is a lot of action in it, and there is quite a lot of violence and language in it, it's quite a slow paced film, and so it kind of eases you in and takes you through quite sort of easily and slowly through the course of the film. And obviously it follows not a biker gang, but like a motorcycle club that then becomes a biker gang, which I thought was interesting, the way it started, and then the way it went from there. And yeah, it's got Austin Butler in it, which I've not seen an awful lot from him outside of Elvis, and so it was interesting to see him in a bit of a different role. Same hair, different role, and kind of see him again portraying somebody who hasn't got an awful lot to say in terms of speaking, but does a lot in terms of acting and in terms of reacting to things. And so we see the evolution of this biker club and their clubhouse, and them riding together, and them kind of building up a bit of a reputation that way. And we sort of see it through these interviews and videos that were done by this journalist. So we see at the beginning this journalist interviewing Jodie Comer's character about her experiences with the boys, and we see sort of him with them, and then him checking back in. So it does jump about a little bit. However, those kind of bits of interview almost form narration throughout the film, and so we kind of get back to her and get back to the journalist, and that's because this film is actually based on a book. Wish I'd known that beforehand. Hello, book versus movie. But it's based on a book which tells the story of a real biker gang club, whatever you want to call it. And so I thought it was interesting because I love a biopic. And yes, we see it from its humble beginnings of just people who like to, you know, build these chopper bikes and put them together and talk about them and work on them together, and then having this clubhouse and deciding that they need a phone, and deciding that they need this, and then deciding that they need rules, and then kind of what happens when the gang kind of, you know, franchises. What happens when you've got the Californian contingent and the like the Detroit contingent and the Minneapolis contingent, and what happens when it expands. And it's that classic story of like, when is expansion a good thing, and when does it just start becoming too big and unmanageable? And I think that that's kind of like what we see over the course of the film. And so in terms of a story, it's literally just following these guys and their bikes and their friendships and their relationships. And there are parts that are really incredibly violent and a bit scary and a bit gory, because obviously people have motorcycle accidents, and obviously people come into run-ins with rival motorcycle riders, and so those things involve violence and involve not very nice things happening, and so it's definitely not for the faint-hearted in that sense. But I think because the film is quite slow paced, and because the film is quiet when it needs to be quiet until it gets loud because of bikes or because of an argument, it's got that really good balance, and it kind of, as I say at the beginning, like leads you through slowly and leads you through gradually. So for this one, I think you definitely need to have seen the trailer and been kind of had your interest piqued by the trailer, because otherwise I don't think you're going to go into this film just kind of not knowing what it's about, going, oh, my friend wanted to see this, so I went to see it with them. I think you need to know what you're getting yourself in for, because otherwise you'll be kind of like, oh, this is violent, and oh, this is like not that nice, or, you know, it's quite slow paced, it's a biopic. You know, you need to know what you're getting yourself into. However, I think in terms of your, you know, should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one, I think the value for money that you get from this film, you know, it's one of those films where it's a decent length. It's not super long, but it's definitely a longer film. But it's one of those that, because you're so absorbed in the story and waiting to find out what happens, what becomes of these bikers, what becomes of these people, I think that it represents good value for money in that sense, in your cinema going time, because you just sit and you're taken on this journey. I think it's not something that necessarily has to be seen on the big screen, but I think it is of a length that if you're watching it at home, you would maybe need to make sure that you didn't have your device with you, or you kind of weren't distracted by other things, because it would be tempting to break it down into kind of two parts, and I think that this film is better consumed in one bite. So I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough to go back at the proper time that I was meant to see it, and I will be double and triple checking my cinema tickets from now on. It just shows you at what point in the school year we're at that I would turn up for a film an hour later than I was supposed to, doesn't it? As always, if there is a particular movie that you would like me to go and watch this week and share my thoughts with you next week, then do let me know in comments. I will be back with more bookish content for you in the week and another movie review next weekend, so make sure you are subscribed, hit that notification bell, and yes, I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.